A new police substation is in the works for Marston's Mills. A solar project at the transfer station is coming along despite the winter weather we've been experiencing. And we get a look at sports with Brenna McCubry. These stories and more on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, February 11th, 2014. I'm Sarah Mannel. Marston's Mills will soon have a larger police presence. Barnstable This Morning host Sarah Colvin got details on this and other topics from Police Chief Paul McDonald. We share a portion of that interview with you now.
Well, lots of stuff to cover today. I want to talk a little bit about some things that happened at yesterday's licensing authority hearing. A couple of businesses. I know that you and I have chatted about some incidents at the International Inn in the past. So why don't we start with what's been going on over there?
Two establishments were brought before the licensing board for a show cause hearing. The first one was the International Inn, and the second one was a Shanghai restaurant located on Center Street at the corner of Ridgewood Avenue. Both of the complaints were brought forward for a lack of supervision. Both of those establishments, we've had numerous calls for service over the past year, but particularly over the last 6 months. The International Inn, we've been down there several times, ranging from minor fights to alcohol-involved incidents to prostitution to drug dealing. In the last 2 months, we've executed 2 major search warrants at the International Inn. Same goes for the Shanghai. Shanghai is more alcohol-related incidents and a lack of supervision also at that establishment. Shanghai, though, is a little bit different. The Shanghai, the owner is there all the time. If the business is open, they are there. It's more of a communication issue than anything else because I don't think anybody in the Shanghai speaks English, so it's very difficult trying to explain to them what's going on and what they have to do to maintain and operate that business efficiently. So they're a little bit different. The International Inn has been a sore spot for us. We're having multiple issues with the International Inn. However, we were encouraged yesterday. They have hired a new general manager who seems to want to do the right thing, seems to have a great deal of experience, and we are encouraged from what he said yesterday. So we are looking forward to working with him. And if you compare these 2 establishments to all of the other establishments we have up and down Main Street, the calls for services are incredible. You know, if you compare, the officer mentioned yesterday at the hearing, you know, the Hyannis Inn, last 6 months we've only been there for four separate times. You compare it to the other ones, we've been there 50 to 75 times. So there is a problem with these 2 establishments. However, they seem that they want to work with us. They want to work with licensing boards, so we're looking forward to maybe correcting the situation.
Right, and of course, you know, as conditions of their license, the managers are supposed to maintain a level of control over their businesses, correct? And that's why we see them coming up in front of the licensing authority for these license violations.
Correct. I mean, they are responsible for that business 24 hours a day. It was a little disheartening when they had 19-year-old gentleman there who was a general manager, and he's responsible for the business between the hours of 7 and 11 o'clock when they're serving alcohol when he himself is too young to even drink. So that's an issue for us. I mean, they have to step it up. But again, they have brought in a new general manager, so we were encouraged by that.
Absolutely. We'll certainly keep an eye on that. Chief, I wanted to ask briefly about the incident that happened outside the mini-mart at the east end of Main Street. Have we found suspects for that yet, or are we still looking for them?
It looks like it was a group of homeless individuals. We have not identified them yet. Detectives are out there. They are working on social services and the shelters. We believe we have 2 suspects identified. Do we have enough to bring them forward yet? No, we don't. The witness has not been able to identify the suspects that we believe are involved in it. But we are still searching the area. We're looking for any video that might be in the area.
Great. So let's move out of Hyannis for a little bit and talk about Marston's Mills. I know that plans are underway to create another substation out in that part of town. Tell me a little bit about where we are in terms of getting that.
We are looking, and this has been going on now for almost a year. We are looking to open up the West Villages station. We have located a spot at the intersection of the Oswestbos Road and Route 28. We want to be on the Route 28 corridor. We also want to be at a major intersection, just through our experience with the Hyannis station. That being at the corner of High School Road and Main Street, being right there at the intersection, worked out very, very well for the visibility. This new station, I think, also is going to have that high visibility. It's in a little strip mall where the 7-Eleven is located. It's on a major road, Route 28. It's also on the road leading to the town landfill and to schools. and we are negotiating with the lease. This is taking a lot longer than we had anticipated because we're dealing with a sublease. The space is already leased by the 7-Eleven Corporation, and they are now going to sublet part of that space to us, and that is just causing some minor administrative problems, and the town attorney's office is dealing with it. We've got everything almost ironed out, and the other problem is they're based out of Texas, so we're dealing with the mail going back and forth. But we hopefully we will be in there by April 1st.
Great. So cutting through the red tape. So hopefully you'll be in there and opening up and operational by April 1st, or in there to could kind of start setting up and preparing for opening.
Preparing for it. This is really raw space. You know, we took over the Hyena Station. It was in pretty good shape. We had to go in there and do some cosmetic work to it. That was it. This is really raw space. I mean, the total inside is going to have to be renovated. And you know, to the credit of the residents down at Barnstable, we have a number of contractors who are more than willing to donate their services and step up to the plate. So we just have to get in there. They're going to come in and they will completely renovate the place for us, and hopefully we will have it up and running by the beginning of the summer.
And will this kind of serve the same purpose as the Hyannis Main Street Station? Now, obviously, there's not as much foot traffic in that portion of town, but will people be able to stop in and ask questions if they need to? Will there be a kind of a cruiser there on duty?
There will be a cruiser there. There will be volunteers there. All of the crews are assigned to the outside sectors. They will work out of that station. They will no longer come back into the headquarters station if it is 132, so this will even work better. The Hyena Station, you know, all the cars assigned to Hyannis, they work out of that station. All the cars assigned to the outside sectors will work out of the other stations. So there should be a much more permanent and visible police presence on the outside sectors, which I know a lot of the residents out in Katuah and Moss Mills are looking for.
Again, Chief McDonald hopes to have the Marston's Mills substation open before the beginning of summer. The 4-megawatt solar project at the town's capped landfill is progressing on time. Department of Public Works Director Dan Santos says that's pretty amazing considering the wintry weather we've been experiencing this month.
They've actually brought all the solar panels and they have them staged there on site and ready to be installed. Where one of the first things they had to do was clear off the topsoil and get down. There's a gravel base under the landfill cap, and they wanted to take the topsoil off, get down to that gravel, because what they do next is put concrete pads on top of the gravel. It's called ballast. So it just provides a structure to weigh down the solar panels, so they're not they don't blow away. They're not affected by weather conditions. So right now they're just getting started to install those ballasts. And once that work is done, they'll start bolting the panels. And you may remember that we were talking about a 5-month project, which is really quite quick.
Santos expects installation to begin in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Another project that will help reduce the town's carbon footprint will be the installation of a big belly solar compactor for recyclables. Santos says that will be placed somewhere on Main Street.
We're going to work with the BID and Elizabeth Werfbane to locate on Main Street as a trial. Because it can take a lot of material and it compacts it, and it's really a kind of a neat project. So we got a grant from the state recently, recycling, and we're going to use that money to purchase one of these solar compactors.
Solar compactors can reduce trash collections by 80%. Now let's take a look at sports with Brenna McCoubry.
Good evening, Barnstable. I'm Brenna McCoubry, here to bring you the latest on national and Barnstable sports. The Boston Celtics beat the Milwaukee Bucks last night 102-86. The C's will be back here in Boston to take on the San Antonio Spurs tomorrow at 7:30. The Sochi Olympics continue today, as they will up until February 23rd. Today there are a variety of events. The biathlon women's pursuit, qualification for cross-country ladies sprint, as well as for women's curling, figure skating short program, ladies freestyle skiing, women's ice hockey between Russia and Japan, women's single luge, normal hill ski jumping, men's halfpipe, and ladies 500-meter speed skating. You can catch all the Olympic action on NBC. Taking a look at the sports happening here in Barnstable, tomorrow night the boys JV and varsity ice hockey teams will host Marshfield at the HYCC. JV will begin at 4, varsity at 5. The girls varsity ice hockey team will also be home to take on Whitman-Hanson. It will be the girls' Pink in the Rink game in honor of teammate and friend Caroline Fries. Wear pink to support the girls at 5 p.m. Later on tomorrow night at 7, the boys' wrestling team will take on Nauset. Here to bring you the latest on National and Red Raider sports, I'm Brenna McCoubry.
For Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Mannell.